Dissidia Final Fantasy NT. So this game was released a few months ago, back in January this year, 2018. This is developed by Team Ninja, who's known for the Dead or Alive series, and who recently developed Neo on the PS4, which came out last year. And it's published by Square Enix, and I believe Square Enix also did some development on this as well. So this is a Final Fantasy fighting game. This is the third in the series, in the first console Dissidia game that they've released, and this is coming out years after Duodecim, which was the last Dissidia game that came out before this one. This is one of the worst games that I've played this console generation. It's a huge disappointment. There's a lot of things that's wrong with this game, from the gameplay to the lack of content, the severe lack of content in the game, to just even the smallest things, like some of the things that they put in the game that you can buy and shit are overpriced, and just the game just becomes a grind and shit just to unlock certain things that you want in to unlock in the games, such as character skins, weapon skins, music, and even like some of the player icons that they have in the game are way too expensive. And essentially what went wrong with this game, and what the game actually is a fucking multiplayer only game that Square Enix thought that they could try and use to have their own esports game and whatnot. But this isn't a serious fighting game. This is a very non-traditional fighting game. All the Dissidia games are very non-traditional fighting games. They're not Mortal Kombat. They're not Tekken. They're not Street Fighter. They're not Dead or Alive. They're not Soul Calibur. They're not any, they're not Marvel vs. Capcom. They're not any serious, fighting game that's out there. It's a simplified anime fighting game, which is what it is. It's so simplified to the point in this one, much more so than the other ones, that it's more simplified than, like, for example, the Naruto Storm games or whatever. And those are some of the most casual games that you can fucking play that's out there. So, real quick, I'm going to go down the list of what's wrong with this fucking game. First of all, you have a lack of modes. You only have 2 online modes in the game: ranked match, solo, and ranked match party. For the offline modes, you only have gauntlet and sparring match, and neither are good. You can unlock these story trials, but they're no different from the basic trials that you find in the gauntlet mode. You can unlock character skins and weapon skins, but they're each overpriced. The fucking character skins are 10,000 gil each for every character in the game, and they're 7,000 gil each for the weapon skins, 3,600 gil each for the fucking custom dialogue for every single character in the game. Then you have character icons that are in the game that are overpriced. There's too many of them. They don't do anything for the gameplay, or they don't have any impact on the gameplay. And then you also have character icons in the game for characters who aren't even playable characters in the game. You have a bunch of music tracks in the game that are overpriced, 3,600 each. You have presets for the sparring match and whatnot, but it's like fucked up because they have the UI is fucked up with it, and so they don't have like a traditional fighting game menu or whatever. And then you have all these difficulties, these separate difficulties for the AI, and it's like, I don't understand the difference between mithril, platinum, adamant, and crystal. They should have just had it to where it's fucking 4 difficulties in the game: easy, normal, hard, and then very hard. And they could have easily done that with the bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, but they didn't do that. You have characters in the game with fucked up movesets, like Terra, for example. Like, some of her HP attacks are terrible. Riot Blade or whatever, you have to have someone attack you in order to use that. And then for Squall, he has to draw and whatnot in order to use his Ultima attack or whatever. The characters level up in the game, and that's one of the very few good things about the game, is that they made it so just because you're a level 10 character or whatever, because level 10 is the level cap in this game, whereas, I believe level 99 was the level cap in Duodecim. Just because you're a level 99 or whatever, or a level 10 in this game, doesn't mean that you can overpower your opponent, or just because your opponent is a level 10 or a higher level over you, doesn't mean that they can overpower you. So, that's something that's kind of good in the game, but at the same time, the leveling system is useless because it really doesn't do anything. It doesn't make the character stronger or anything. The only thing it does is give you more HP attacks for the characters in the game. Then for the basic fighting system that they have in the game, all the older 2 Duodecim games were one-on-one, was a one-on-one fighting system. In this game, they've locked you to a default 3-on-3 fighting system where you have party health or whatever, and basically if you get 3 KOs, you lose, or the first team, the 3 KOs wins. And that's just for the standard match, because they have 2 game types in this game. They have the standard match, and then they have the core battle. The core battle is where you go and you fight the other team and try and destroy their core or their crystal or whatever. And there's a specific area or whatever that the core exists in, and any member of the opposing team that goes inside their core's vicinity will protect the core. So you have to knock them out of the vicinity in order to do damage to their core. That game type really only works for long range characters, or characters who have long range attacks. The best character in the game for the core battle is Ace, because he has the monolith beam. If you get him to level 10, he's just a long range character in general, so he works. And then the other great character for core battle is Cloud, because he has the meteor rain HP attack. Those are the only 2 characters that really work for that game type. But certain characters really don't work for certain game types, such as Squall. He's great for standard battle, but he's terrible with the core battle and whatnot. And so basically certain characters in the game are designed terribly. And then they have for the story mode in the game, you have to gain currency by playing hours of the gauntlet mode just to unlock the story. And the story is mainly nothing but a bunch of cutscenes. And then you have the battles or whatever that you can unlock in the game for the story mode, but you can only play them once. And so after you play them, there's nothing to do in story mode except, once again, watch the cutscenes that's in there. That wasn't done well. Another thing that's wrong with this fucking game is the fact that, aside from all that, they have these summon battles in the game where you go up against some of the summons from Final Fantasy, some of the recurring summons such as Ifrit, Shiva, Rama, Odin, Bahamut, Alexander, and Leviathan. You can fight them and whatnot, and at first glance it seems that that's one of the best parts about the game, but it's actually the worst part about the game, because the summons are extremely overpowered. Their attacks have way too much range, and the evade system is terrible in this game compared to the older Dissidia games. There's a delay every time you want to evade or dash. The summons, even if you break their bravery attacks and whatnot, which will prevent them from, their HP attacks from doing damage to you. In 1 or 2 attacks, the summons can gain thousands of bravery points and just take you out in one hit, and you only need 3 KOs in order to lose in the summon fights, whereas the summons, they're treated as like normal enemies from like regular Final Fantasy games, like normal bosses where they have thousands of health points and shit. You have to take out this big ass bar of health, whereas they only have to fucking hit you a few times, land 3 cheap hits, and you automatically lose. And it's just fucking terrible. They're one of the worst parts about the entire fucking game. They have a final boss in the fucking story mode that's a summon battle, and it's one of the worst things I've ever played in the fucking Final Fantasy game, just because of how poorly designed it is. It's the Shinryu boss fight or whatever, and so that's shit. It's not designed very well. None of the fucking summon battles are designed very well. This is just an example. The Shiva battle in the game, once you get Shiva's health down about halfway, she'll summon a fucking doppelganger, a clone, and then you have to fight 2 of them at the same time. And your fucking AI partners aren't helpful. They're very stupid. The AI in the game's not very smart. And it's like, you can level up the character you're playing as, and then you can level up the other 2 characters or whatever on your team at higher difficulties and shit, because they have ranks like E through A for, bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and so on and so forth. really doesn't make the fucking AI any better at the game. They're still very stupid and they make dumb decisions and shit. Like if you're playing gauntlet mode and you're trying to do the standard battle or whatever, because the gauntlet mode has 6 different battles that you have to fight through in order to reach the end successfully, because it's a basic arcade mode. If you're trying to do that on standard and you're trying to rise in the difficulties as you're fighting, you know, the different teams or whatever, past a certain difficulty, I'd say past platinum, the AI just becomes extremely useless on your team. They'll end up getting cheap points for the other team, and it becomes a clusterfuck. It's not fun. The summons will enter the fights or whatever, and you know, they'll disrupt the entire fucking battle. You have to like hold L2 to target the fucking summons, but the way they have the camera set up is that you're always targeting something, you know, be it a member of the opposing team or the summons themselves or one of the cores that randomly appears in the battle. And you have to, you know, if a summon comes into the battle, you have to target the fucking summon. It disrupts your view of what else is going on screen, so you can be attacked from outside of your range of view because of how bad the fucking targeting system is in the game. Another thing that's wrong with the game is that there's a severe lack of gameplay modes in the game. You only have once again the standard fucking gauntlet mode, which is nothing more than the fucking arcade mode in the game, and then you have sparring, which is just nothing but local battle, and that's all you have for the offline modes. There's no time attack, there's no survival, there's no there's not a ghost mode like from one of the Tekken games or whatever. There's nothing like that. There's no tower mode, you know, like from Mortal Kombat or something like that. There's nothing like that in the game. That's all you have in terms of gameplay modes. And then the game's lacking in the online department as well. There's no tournament mode. There's no fucking King of the Hill or anything like that. It's just very fucking cheap. They didn't even try and bother and give the players the content to justify the fucking full $60 price tag that they put on this game when it came out. And, you know, this game was in Japanese arcades and shit over a year before the console version was even announced. So, you know, this is just Square Enix once again fucking up and screwing over their fan base. This game got mediocre reviews when it came out. There's a lot of people that love Duodecim, including myself, that really wanted a console Dissidia. And, you know, they pull some shit like this where it's just a half-ass effort. And it's just... yeah, this is one of the most disappointing pieces of shit that I've played this console generation. I even went back and I played a little bit of Duodecim. There are entire maps that are missing from that were available in Duodecim that aren't available in Dissidia NT. There are characters who are in that game who are missing, such as, you know, Tifa, Yuna, Laguna. I think there are more characters than that. Gabranth from Final Fantasy XII. And so, you know, some of these characters will probably be added as DLC, but, you know, that's a problem because, you know, you have to pay for these characters, and they should, you know, just be in the fucking game and shit. And so, yeah, this game sucks, dude. It's terrible. It's a horrible fucking Final Fantasy game. It's a horrible fucking Dissidia game. It's a bad fighting game. It's just a bad game, you know, in terms of just the lack of content and the fucking shit gameplay and shit. And so, yeah, fuck this game. You know, this is one of the reasons why I don't care about what they do with Final Fantasy going forward past the Final Fantasy VII Remake. And like I said in my Square Enix going forward video, I'm pretty much done with Square Enix at this point. I'm tired of the crap. You know, I'm tired of their bullshit. And, you know, this game is just another fucking example of what's wrong with them as a company. And, you know, they just can't be trusted anymore. And so, you know, anything, you know, going forward with Final Fantasy past the Final Fantasy VII Remake at this point, I really just don't care at all. And, you know, this game is a testament to that. So, yeah, fuck this game. It sucks. This game can fuck off, dude. Because, you know, they released this for $60. I bought this game for $35 and shit. And, yeah, it's fucking terrible. It's a terrible ass game. You know, if I'm gonna buy your game and you're not even gonna give me the amount of content that, you know, I fucking deserve as a fan of the series and as a customer to your fucking company, and you tell me, you know, to go fuck myself, I'm gonna tell you to go fuck yourself. So yeah, fuck Square Enix and fuck this game in its ass.